So we're really going to look at the 5 pillars of metabolic health and how you can support them with essential oils and natural products. So this is the first. This is like our introduction to metabolic health, the MetaPWR system. And then the following Wellness Wednesday sessions that we'll have will really focus on those 5 pillars and doing a little bit more deep dive into some lifestyle habits that we can incorporate and very specific essential oils and other natural products that we can use. And so keep your eye out for those. I'll keep you posted. If you are already in our Facebook group, they'll be streamlined here. You can always join us on Zoom as well to join our conversation. So our goals for today is we're going to look at metabolism specifically. Do you control your metabolism, or does your metabolism control you? Do you understand why the world needs a metabolic health awakening? We just had this conversation, just a little chat about our food and what's hiding in our food, and learn about the relationships between health span, biological aging, and metabolic health. And we're going to look at some tools that we need to slow the signs of biological aging and put more life into our years. That really is quite exciting because this is the foundation of metabolic health. Healthy metabolic health, good metabolic health, I should say, is what drives our energy levels, our clarity. It controls our weight, and even affects our mood. So if you look at these things here, you can get an idea of some of the things that are affected by metabolic health, and then just ask yourself, what's keeping you from living your best, fullest life? So if you'll just take a minute right there and kind of range these, give these a number between 1 and 10, 1 being like the lowest of the lowest, 10 being the absolute best, So think about your daily activities. Think about how engaged you are with your life. How much energy do you have to sustain your schedules? How much energy do you have to sustain your household? Do you have really good energy? Are you always bouncing, ready to go? You don't feel tired or sluggish? Or are you down on the number 1 where I don't even want to get up out of bed right now? I don't have the energy to do that. Look at your weight. I know there's tons of charts out there that have all of these ideal weights, but what is your ideal weight? Not what somebody tells you that you should weigh. Your ideal weight is that number on the scale, pretty much, where you can function without having your weight be one of those factors that keeps you down. Look at your mood. How is your mood? Are you basically in a funk all the time, or are you feeling positive? Are you ready to go? Look at your sleep. Are you really getting good sleep, or are you just laying in bed with your eyes closed and being very aware of everything that's going on around you? Or are you getting the sleep that you need, where you're waking up feeling refreshed and like you're ready to take on your day? What about clarity? Where are you on clarity on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you have a lot of brain fog? Are you sharp? Are you able to keep focused? And then, of course, stress. I think for myself on all of these, my clarity and stress have really been like on the lower end. I'm sitting around 4 or 5. I have a lot going on. There's been a lot of changes and adjustments taking place for me, and it really has caused that added stress. And because I'm not focused and clear, that adds to my stress. So basically my mood is okay, except for those days that I'm feeling low energy. But check yourself. This is just for you to kind of gauge where you're at. And remember, 1 means that it's an area where you're not really feeling great about it, and it's something that you should work on, that you should focus on. And 10 is like, I feel great about this area. I don't feel like I need to do a whole lot of work here. So think about those things, because all of these things affect how we feel, how we live our life to the fullest. Wellness starts at the cellular level. Now, I know that you guys have seen this before. This is the doTERRA wellness pyramid, and it's taken on a little modification, not really major changes, but just more defined. So we're looking at nutrition and digestion, movement and metabolism as being our foundations. And if you look at that, if you were to take away one of those, like movement and metabolism, if you were to remove that from this pyramid, this would topple over, right? Because that is foundational. Metabolism is foundational. And I noticed that something didn't transfer here, and you'll see the top gray arrow is healthcare. The bottom is lifestyle. These are things that we really do have control over, that we can make good decisions about certain things that we bring into our home, put on our body, take into our body, and expose ourselves to, that can really affect our health in a positive way. So this is really lifestyle management here. But your choices, some days you may have some really great, outcomes from your choices, and be intentional with them. And then other days you're just on survival mode, and that's okay too. What we really want to focus on is that those 4 foundational pieces, those are lifestyle choices that we do have control over. All right. So what is good metabolic health? If you go and you do a Google search on this and you look at all of these definitions, it can be really overwhelming. So to keep it simple, just know that good metabolic health means that your body can digest and absorb nutrients from food, and you have a healthy, stable level of blood sugar, blood fat, and insulin. So that's very simplistic, but it really does make sense this way. If you try to incorporate all the pieces of what metabolism is and how it affects your health, it is incredibly overwhelming because it's so involved. There's so many chemical processes taking place in our body that to try to understand them and try to gauge them, forget it. Don't do it. Keep it simple. Always keep it simple. And so what affects our metabolic health? There's 5 pillars of metabolic health. We have to look at healthy eating, stress management, daily movement, smart supplementation, and healthy connections. So healthy eating really is probably a big challenge for a lot of people. Sometimes we eat because we're emotional eaters, and we're leaning into foods that provide us, that quick endorphin release, that sugar high that we seek, but then, we're crashing after, right? So it's not really sustaining our metabolic health. It's not providing anything beneficial. But you also need to keep in mind that we can make the absolute best choices in our food, and we're still going to be lacking something. And it's just the way that our foods are processed these days. So reach for more natural, more green foods. Pick your foods from the perimeter of the store, because that's going to be the most fresh and the least processed. When we're talking stress management, we're going to be bombarded with stress on a daily basis. There's nothing that we can do about it. We have tendencies, our body's designed to have a fight or flight reaction to whatever it is that we're exposed to, whatever it is that we're engaged in. So we're going to feel that stress. And a little stress is good because it keeps us on our toes, right? But the stress that I'm referring to here is the one where you are constantly in this state of fight, and your body is constantly producing stress hormones and adrenaline and cortisol, these things. And it really is breaking down not only your metabolic health, but your overall health and wellness as well. Daily movement. You got to get some kind of movement into your daily schedule. Walking is by far the #1 easiest way to get daily movement. Push yourself, walk 1 block today, for, for a week, if you've been on the couch and for a while, if you've been having, a life that's very sedentary, challenge yourself to walk a block every day for a week, and then increase that the next week, and just keep moving. Do things that you enjoy. Daily movement doesn't necessarily have to be a very strenuous type of exercise. It could be walking, it could be cycling, dancing, yoga, stretching, anything that's going to, elevate your heart rate just a little bit to get those good endorphins flowing, but also to get good oxygenated blood to your tissue. Smart supplementation, we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. Not all supplements are the same, you guys. They're no matter what you think, they're just not. And then healthy connections. Alex and I were just mentioning that, just talking about that, how we really need to do more in-person events and do more things together. Go out and have lunch with your friends, go out and do a coffee date, go out for a hike with somebody. There's a really neat club here that just started, at least that I just learned about. And it's a hiking club on Saturday mornings. They just a group of women get together and go hike different trails close by to the city. I think that's fantastic. What a great way to get your daily movement, reduce your stress, and also create some healthy connections. So all of these things are really important to your metabolic health, and your metabolic health affects all of these things too. So you may have seen this before a while back. It's been shared in our group. It's been shared in other presentations that we've done too. But how's your metabolic health? 6.8% of the US adult population has optimal metabolic health. So if you look at it from the other end, that means that 13 out of the 14 people you meet have suboptimal metabolic health. And that's a pretty scary number, because I'm pretty sure I'm one of your 13 people. This is a work in progress here. And, we're not talking like elite athletes and those high performance kind of people. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about just our everyday person who really does not have optimal cardiometabolic health. This is somebody that needs extra support. But the good news is that when we start making intentional choices to control our metabolic health, we can also reduce some of those signs and build on those pillars. Some of the latest research from Harvard and other top tier organizations show that metabolic health and biological age are inseparable. So that's why it's really important to get a grasp on our metabolic health. So our biological age measures how young our cells appear. This is based on how healthy they are, how they behave. Our cells were designed to do a certain function. And when our cells are healthy, they perform those functions effectively and efficiently. When they're not, that's when we start feeling the effects of poor metabolic health. So this is really gauged by looking at blood sugars, your waist circumference, blood pressure, cholesterol, and triglycerides. So yeah, you hear these things thrown at you a lot, but they really are the best markers for your metabolic health. And these two things, metabolic health and biological age, are inseparable. They go hand in hand. So as you age, as your biological age, gets longer, gets older, your metabolic health function tends to decrease. That's just something that happens. It's a natural process of living. And because your metabolic health influences your energy, your weight, your body composition, sleep, and even your cognitive performance, you can expect that those things are also going to decline and really impact the quality of your life. So these are inseparable. They're not standalone. They are by far one of the same thing. They just affect each other. So our good friend here, Dr. O, he's our Chief Medical Officer from doTERRA. I really love the way that he explained this lifespan versus health span. So lifespan goes back to that biological age, and health span is really related to our metabolic health. So lifespan is the number of physical years that we actually live, and our health span is the number of years we live healthy. Two completely different things. I have a very short video for you guys to watch.
If we consider our lifespan, the number of years we are alive, on the horizontal axis here, and our health span, the quality of our cognitive and physical performance on the vertical axis here, we can draw a curve that represents what naturally happens to our health span as we age, shown here in gray. However, the reality is we live in an incredible time where medicine and science can extend our lives. This dark blue line represents what happens when we use the best of medicine to try and manage issues related to a poor lifestyle. As these interventions improve our numbers, like blood sugar, blood pressure, and lipids, we can gain a modest amount of health span and lifespan. But what is staggering to me is how little benefit is derived from decades of this type of management. Look how close that blue line is to the gray line. It's incredibly minimal. As we near the end of our life on the blue line, you can see how through heroic use of life-extending medical technology, we can extend an individual's lifespan by a few years. But look at the quality of life that person is experiencing. Our lives might be extended by these heroic medical efforts, but one could argue that they are not enriched. Finally, let's look at the orange line. This is more typical for master athletes and people stacking healthy lifestyle habits consistently throughout their lives. What is most impressive about this group of people is that health span and lifespan can both be significantly improved. People who optimize their metabolism through daily exercise, diet, relationships, stress management, and of course smart supplementation can not only potentially live longer, but add life to those years. Here's my dream, my why for my health span. Well into my 90s, I want to be able to spend a day, many days, out fly fishing with my posterity. I'd be able, on any of those days, to back my truck down the ramp, unload my drift boat, launch that boat, and then row that boat myself all day long. Watch my kids and posterity catch boatloads of fish. And then at the end of my life, I'd go home from a day of fishing, enjoy dinner with my family, and peacefully pass away in my sleep. That would be a health span that matches or equals my lifespan. Let me show you how that works. Let's assume that here on the vertical axis, we have 100% quality of cognitive and physical health during young adulthood. Now let's draw a line across this chart at 50% function. This is the stage of physical and cognitive health span where we are still capable of caring for ourselves, still living independently. We might not be running a 10-minute mile anymore, but we are probably able to walk a brisk 15-minute mile without difficulty with our kids or grandkids. Said differently, above this line, you can still do the things you want to do, although you might notice slight declines in your performance as you age closer to that 50% line. Below this line, living independently becomes more difficult due to cognitive decline or having enough physical strength and stamina to perform our daily activities. Now, if we continue that line at 50% function across the chart, look at where it intersects the blue line versus the orange line. This is what you need to understand. Look at what you can gain when you optimize your metabolism. Look at those years, but more importantly, look at the life that is added to those years. Currently, in North America, toward the end of our lifespan, we spend about 8 years, sometimes as many as 15 years, dealing with challenges that take away our quality of life and lower our health span. We can't always have a health span that lines up perfectly.
All right, so I find this graph incredibly, it's surprising, because we live in a system, we live in a healthcare system where we have access, for the most part, to some really great interventions, life-saving interventions. But what really intrigues me about this graph is that even with those interventions, the quality of life really doesn't improve much. It's just more of a sustaining of life in whatever level you are when you reach for that intervention. Whereas if you focus on a good metabolic health, look how it just, the quality of life is just incredible to me. And, I know that there are people my age that already have grandbabies, but I don't have grandbabies. I'm still raising babies. I would think in about another 5 to 10 years, I would probably have grandbabies, and I want to be able to enjoy them. I want to be able to do things with them at the level that I'm doing things now, or if not better, because I could use some help here. But this just fascinates me, how just changing one bit of our of choices can really make a big impact on our lifespan, as well as our health span, our quality of life. That's what I want. I want a good quality of life when I'm in my 90s as well. So the lifespan and health span gap, right? So the hallmarks of aging begin to appear at 25, right? And as we age, our NAD plus steadily drops, and this causes our metabolic function to decline. So this is a natural progression. This happens to every single person because you're human, right? So what is NAD plus? This is responsible. It's a molecule critical to metabolic function and DNA integrity. So it's responsible for two types of reactions in the body. The first, it has a metabolic function. It's converting food and nutrients to cellular energy. And the second function it has, a cellular integrity, it protects our cellular energy factories. So there are more important implications to metabolic function than the negative effects of DNA that snowball as NAD plus levels decline. So it's really important. I mean, this is simplified again, because metabolism is not just 3 little boxes that show you this. This is a huge complex of networks and reactions, chemical reactions taking place. But the underlying energy is the same, and we need cellular energy to keep those chemical reactions going, to keep our metabolism running efficiently and effectively. So we need that NAD plus. So knowing that this is going to happen regardless, that we're going to have these levels decrease, it's really important for us to understand and identify those metabolic health obstacles that could really push that level, that marker, of decreasing our NAD molecules. So there are things that we can take a look at and understand that these obstacles are what's really affecting our metabolic health. Maturing fat cells is one, blood sugar spikes is the other, cellular integrity, and inferior supplements. So our MetaPWR was created specifically to support our body at a cellular level. We can't just completely erase the other pillars, though. Smart supplementation is huge. It's a huge factor. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. But there's other pillars that are involved too, that are very necessary to continue promoting good metabolic health. So what we really need to look at is, how can we target these health obstacles here so that we do have an improved metabolic health, right? Let me see here. All right. I just want to make sure I'm covering what I need to here. So we have a MetaPWR metabolic system. If you've been around our group for a while, you have seen information on this. If you're on our newsletter distribution, you have seen information on this. But this system right here is key. It's a great foundational system to really start targeting and resetting our metabolic health. So this system has three parts to it. It has a metabolic blend, it has a MetaPWR assist, and it has a MetaPWR advantage with collagen and NMN. I'll talk to you more about that here in just a bit. So let's see here. These natural products, when you combine them with those healthy lifestyle choices, remember our wellness pyramid that we looked at before? When we combine this with those choices, the healthy eating, the movement, making some healthy connections as well, reducing our stress, getting enough sleep, all of those things, these supplements can really benefit. It could really be, you'll get a greater return on your efforts. It's just going to support you in that. It's going to support you in getting back what you're putting into, right? It's really going to help focus on those pillars. So let's see. Going back to that graph, you don't just want to live a long life. You want to live a healthy life. You want to be able to be engaged in your life, right? You want to be able to function at a high level, or even at a good level, right? So let's target that first obstacle of maturing fat cells. So I'm going to share with you, how MetaPWR works in combating these health obstacles that we encounter. So if you look here, you'll see that as you lose weight, you're not necessarily reducing the number of fat cells, right? You're just shrinking those cells. You simply burn the fat stored within that cell, and they become smaller. So when you reach adulthood, the number of fat cells in the human body is more or less the same. I found that really interesting because the more that I'm reading about these things, I find it really interesting how, we think we're losing fat, but it's not really what's happening. We're burning the energy in those cells and they're shrinking. They can grow and shrink, and about 5 to 10% of these die each year, but they're replaced. So whatever steps you take to restrict your fat cell growth, it's what's going to make the biggest difference in your body fat percentage or your BMI. Now, BMI is one of those markers. It's a health marker. So a healthy BMI, you'll hear that from your doctors that you have too high of a BMI or you're just right. Too high means that we need to do some work, right? So it's just one of those markers. So fat cells grow when they retain droplets of fatty acids, and that's usually because we're consuming more food than what we need, right? So if you take a look here, we can look at these balloons as adipose cells, or fat cells. And if we, it's the same amount of cells here, but if we get to a point that we're consuming more than what we can actually burn off, you'll see that those fat cells will start growing. They didn't, you didn't add any more, they're just growing. And the more that we make those unhealthy choices of, what we're putting into our system and if we're moving or not, and all those other pieces that affect it as well, you'll see that they just get bigger, right? So there is a way that you can slow the growth of those fat cells so that they stay the size of that very first group of balloons that you see there. That's where our MetaPWR metabolic blend comes in. This was designed to curb hunger cravings between meals. I know some people feel like they need snacks in between, and that's probably very true for a small percentage of people. Most of the time, we're just grabbing things out of habit. sometimes out of emotional support too. So this could really help to limit the amount and the times that you eat in between meals. And even if you're craving sugar, this can really help you as well. This has also been clinically shown to inhibit that maturation of the new adipose fat cells and growth of existing fat cells. So let me jump back to this slide. It's going to help keep your cells like that first group rather than having them expand into that last group of balloons that you see there. So the metabolic blend, along with natural cell death and turnover, helps to maintain new fat cells at their smallest size. So this blend has so many different things in there. It has a blend of oils that you can either use in the, putting it into your water. There's beadlets, there's a gum that has that blend in there. And then there's also the soft gels that may be easier to, and definitely more convenient for you if you're on the go, to kind of help you with that. So there's grapefruit in there, just some of the cinnamon, those kind of things, but they're in a composition, a concentration composition that is really synergistically helping curb those cravings and to keep those cells from getting really large. So the next part, a testimony I wanted to share. Okay, so this product has only been out since September, and it was available to the public in October. So this gal right here, Laura LeBeau, this is her testimony, and you'll see that this is it within 18 days of MetaPWR, right? So her story is, this was never about weight loss for me. It still isn't. In fact, the scale has barely moved. I'm having a lot of the same results as many: more energy, better sleep, great skin, mental clarity, less joint pain, and increased flexibility. But what you can't see on the outside is that my anxiety is basically gone. That's huge. If you have anxiety or you live with people that have it, that's a huge, huge benefit of this. The last year and a half has been hell for me, mental health wise. I've been transparent about it, but I was still holding on to a lot of shame. It all felt really, really heavy. After a mental health crisis back in March, I've slowly been picking up the pieces and rebuilding. MetaPWR has made me feel like I'm finally put back together. I can't explain it. I'm calmer, dealing with stress better, letting things that would normally upset me just roll off my back. I'm truly happier, more fulfilled, and experiencing joy again. You can literally see the pain I was holding in my body before MetaPWR, and now I've let it go. I just see the light in her face, and of course you can see how it's becoming, more defined, but you can just see the light in her face. I absolutely I think this is my favorite transformation, because she speaks on a level of, that stress management that a lot of people have a really tough time with. We have a great adaptive system for that, but maybe she needed a little bit more support in the metabolic end. So that's her story, and there's a couple more that I'm going to share with you as we move on to. So the next health obstacle that we're going to tackle is blood sugar spikes. So each time your blood sugar spikes, you age. Now, this is a very normal thing that happens whenever we eat food. Our blood sugar is going to spike because that's just part of the natural breakdown of food. But this is really looking at when you are constantly bombarding your blood sugar, your system with spikes of blood sugar. So you can look at it like a car, right? If you're constantly driving your car at 75 miles an hour, maybe 120, and then you put the brakes on really fast, that can do a little bit of damage, but maybe not so much. But if that's something that you continue to do over and over and over and over again, you better believe that your car's going to start breaking down. You're going to see that check engine light, your brakes may give out, your tires are surely going to get shot. So there's just that's what can happen. Continued blood sugar spikes over a period of time can really be detrimental to your health. Even normal range spikes can sometimes create a little bit more stress on your system. And it can be hard on your body, but we're looking at, this is really looking at when you're having trouble sustaining a healthy level, right? So the more that you can smooth out those spikes, and the dips in your blood glucose levels and insulin curves, the better the better it is for your body. All right. So doing this is going to help optimize and sustain your energy levels too. Do you ever feel that spike? You know, you're like really high and you're ready to go, but then there's that crash. So what do? You reach for something else that's going to give you that really high energy, right? Health, our food choices play a huge role in our energy levels, in our blood sugar spikes. So MetaPWR Assist is the one supplement that can help smooth out the curves in normal range blood sugar at meal times. So what I really appreciate about this is that just hearing from other people and seeing their own journeys, I can see how this could really help with that slump, that mid-afternoon slump that my husband feels. Not to call him out or anything, but this is one of his areas that he's going to work on, because he does get that mid-afternoon slump, right? This MetaPWR blend has mulberry leaf extract, and this has been clinically shown to reduce normal range post-meal blood sugar spikes by 42%. That's really huge, right? Because think back at that car, if you're constantly bombarding, hitting that gas pedal and then the brake, and it's just going to do some damage, right, over time. That's the same thing with your blood sugar. If you can keep that blood sugar level sustained, it's really going to benefit you. So here's another testimony from Tanya Gorder-Cottrell. So she did this. This was solely her doing. She just wanted to know how this really affected blood sugar. So she had this blood glucose monitor on for 8 days without MetaPWR. After 8 days, she used MetaPWR system, definitely like the Meta Assist that you take during your before you have your largest meal, and you could see just the difference in the total spike time. That's really huge for somebody that has issues with their blood sugar levels, right? And this is just, the course of 8 days. You could only imagine, the effects this is going to have, the good effects this is going to have over, a period of time. She's just 2 weeks in here, and it's pretty, the numbers speak for themselves. And this is what, like I said, it was her own doing. She wanted to see how this actually benefited her body. And that was quite an improvement there. We want to reach that lower total spike time. We want it to look leveled off. So MetaPWR also helps with cellular integrity. This is another health obstacle that we could have. We want to look good and feel good from the inside out. So 2 key elements that we can look at here are collagen and NADH and NADH+. All right, so let me get there. For this part, collagen. This is the most abundant protein in the human body. We have 28 different types in our body, and it's the key component to connective tissue, like your tendons, your ligaments. It's also, a key component for skin and muscles, that elasticity of our skin, that youthfulness that we have. It also gives, creates a little firmness around, especially around our face. We want that, right? The anti-aging market has made billions of dollars because we seek to look younger. We want to look how we feel, right? Connective tissue also gives our body structure, and it gives it strength. So the ligaments in our knees, for example, they're composed of collagen, and that's what allows our knees to flex and bend and absorb shock. So while collagen is something we produce naturally, the production drops with age, starting again at age 25. It's that pivotal age. So we just, because of an active lifestyle and the repeated stresses that we put on our joints, it's just something that happens, right? We even walking, we don't think about it, but we're absorbing shock, and our knees are taking a beating every single time, but we still need to move. So NADH and NAD+, they're crucial for mitochondrial maintenance, especially when we're talking about metabolic function. They convert food into energy and offer protection of cellular energy factories. So while our bodies produce NAD+ and NADH naturally, that too starts dropping dramatically around middle age, and it continues to drop until death. So without sufficient NAD+ levels in our body, our cells really can't generate the energy that it needs to survive and carry out just those basic cellular functions. So we really need to focus and hone in on that production. Hold on just a minute. Excuse me. So it's a lot of information, I know, but it's really important for us to understand that those are some two key elements that we need in order to continue sustaining, a healthy lifestyle, an active, healthy lifestyle. So MetaPWR Advantage with collagen and NMN. This is the third step of the MetaPWR system. So this has marine collagen, 9 unique collagen tripeptide types, and it has M&M and MN, which is a nucleotide. It's a precursor to the biosynthesis of NAD+, which is really important for cellular energy, for the production of cellular energy. And there's other ingredients, and I'm going to show you the breakdown of this here in just a little bit. So these ingredients all work together to give our cells what they need to support our cellular integrity. So the result of this means that you're slowing down your biological aging, and your metabolic health is improving. So we're looking at firmer skin, there's more elasticity in skin, improved cognitive function, more lean muscle, connective tissue, and just so much more with this. When you use it daily, you can really slow down the signs of biological aging, regardless of your current age. And there's nothing out there that compares to it. So what we've been told about collagen is completely wrong. This is why superior supplementation is key. All right, so some of you may be taking collagen supplements already, right? So however, you've read about, the best collagen available. It's really just good marketing, right? So doTERRA doesn't spend a whole lot of money on marketing. Their money is put into, their time, money, and energy is put into sourcing the best, purest ingredients available, as well as the science to effectively deliver those ingredients to our cells. So first, this advantage is 12 times more absorbable, more bioavailable than other collagen products. So bioavailability is really important because you can take all the best quote unquote supplements in the world, but if they're not delivered in a form that your body recognizes or can use, you just wasted your money, because that's just going to pass right through your system. So this one definitely is more bioavailable. the number of grams you read on the label isn't what determines how much collagen your cells will receive after taking it. All right. So even if it says it has, whatever grams, doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're going to actually absorb and use. So taking a regular bottle of collagen that you may have purchased from Amazon, compare the milligram levels. That means that you're going to absorb 12 times more into your cells with MetaPWR than what that bottle of collagen that you bought from Amazon says you will. Secondly, most collagen replacing products only feature 1 or 2 collagen tripeptide types. MetaPWR Advantage contains 9. So tripeptides mean that they're just smaller pieces of collagen that make it easier to absorb and easier to use. So this one has 9 in there, and all of those 9, you'll see that they contain, they affect a certain bodily function. So these are the ones that you can find in the MetaPWR Advantage. These are sourced from cold water marine fish in Italy, sustainably harvested cold water marine fish in Italy. And being vegetarian, I'm having a really tough time with making a decision with this, and that's one of the reasons that I've been putting off. But I'm seeing there are more benefits to this than my not wanting to ingest anything marine. But anyway, I digress as usual. But you can see here that there are 28 known types of collagen in the human body. And this is going to give us 9. So this is really awesome in how it offers so much support to all of these different areas in our body. There isn't anything like this out on the market. And there's health benefits, beauty benefits from this. And, like recovering faster from workouts, that's what's, I want that. As I'm getting older, I'm finding that it takes me 2 days to recover from strenuous exercise. It never used to be that way. And I'm really hoping that this can help my recovery time. Flexibility, you have, where is that one that, growth plates, collagen type 9 there, it strengthens cartilage, it strengthens your joints. That's what I'm looking for here. So you'll see that it covers just a myriad of support for your body. And then finally, it's activated by you. This comes in a powdered form. So you get all of this in there in a powdered form, which you will add to room temperature water. All right, so because it's in this form, it's in this freeze dried, dehydrated form, it's going to last longer. It's not going to break down when it's on the shelf. There isn't anything else in there, no emulsifiers, no preservatives. And that's what you'll find with a lot of those liquid collagens. There's something carrying it, right? And so it's not just things that are going to benefit you, but you'll see, remember I said 10 other ingredients? This is everything that you're going to find in here. So you're going to have your peptides, you're going to have the metabolic blend is also in there. But then you're going to see all these great things that are supportive of your system. Supportive of your metabolic health. The NMN is added in here because this is going to increase our NAD plus production in the body. And this is really going to be beneficial to that cellular energy. So there's just so much involved here. And if you were to try to create this blend with what's already out there on the shelves, you're going to spend over $300 to get only a portion of what's inside this advantage. These are pricing comparisons are from online Amazon individual supplements, which have similar active ingredient doses and may vary in source and concentration. So it's really difficult to find something that's going to compare, you know, and be cost effective. You'll spend over $300, right? Where our Advantage, it wholesales for $84.50. One of our doTERRA members she did a really nice blog on this and just compared collagen that was out there. This is available at healinginOurhomes.com, and it's a doTERRA collagen comparison blog. And you'll see here that she took the time to look at different factors of all the, you know, certain collagens out here. And 70% of doTERRA Advantage is actual tripeptide collagens. That's huge, because if you'll notice what's out there on the market, there's only 15 to 35% within those products, in those other products. Some of them aren't even tested to see what's in there. And you'll see that doTERRA has 9 types of different collagens in there. And then it's the only one that is freeze-dried. Everything else is either a liquid or a powder. And again, that comes into play when you're looking at additional things that are being added to your supplement. So I wanted to share this because this made, you know, this really surprised me. I personally have never taken a collagen supplement because most of them, there's only one listed there that's actually vegan, but I don't know too much of that product. But if you look at the vegan one, there isn't any collagen in there. It has sugar in there, and it's not, don't know if it's tested, and there aren't any tripeptides in there. So what really are you getting in that vegan product? So this is just an FYI. And again, this comes from Rachel Loth. I think that's her. Yeah, Rachel Loth from healinginOurhomes.com. You can go check out her blog, and she really goes into a little bit more detail on how she actually went about to creating these beautiful charts for us. But you'll see that it really is a great value, because even with some of the ones that are really popular, you're still spending, you know, up to $6 per serving. Whereas this one, it's under $3. It's less than a cup of coffee, you guys. So here's another testimony for you. This is from Vicky Shaver. I could really see just the improvement of her skin. Oh boy, the side by side is kind of crazy. The left side, pre-MetaPWR, the new metabolic line. The right side, 23 days in, not even a full month. The pictures speak for themselves, but the data is even more impressive. Almost 12 inches off, 10 pounds shed, more toned muscles, energy for days. Brain fog was completely gone within the first week. Better focus, baby soft skin, including some scaly skin on my elbows that nothing else would touch. More even mood. I wish I had a continuous blood glucose monitor to show what's happening inside my body. I'm amazed. This is all without major changes to diet and exercise. I can't wait until day 90. So this is just her using the MetaPWR system. This is not changing anything else that's going on in her life. But you can definitely see the effects of the Advantage on her skin. Look underneath her eyes. The puffiness is gone. Her eyes look brighter. The deep lines on her forehead, you know, are not as deep. And then her chin, her neck, look at that. That right there is just, wow. So that's Vicky's story. And then just to kind of look at what we've already covered, some of the metabolic health obstacles, those things that get in the way of good metabolic health. And we talked about the inferior supplements as well. So what's next for you? Because there's always a next. Hold on just a minute. Another testimony before we move on, what's next. I really like her transformation. This is someone who is in the healthcare, she's a health coach, and She has a really large following of people, and she did this. She was also the one that did the blood glucose monitor for her information, because she wanted to make sure that if she was going to promote a product to her clients, that it was something that she's used and tried before and that she can speak to. So this is just 30 days into working on my metabolic healing by adding in a simple 3-step system into my daily routine. I'm in it for the long game, but loving the changes so far. These are the things that she's noticed. Her energy is way up. Caffeine and sugar cravings are gone. I get tired at bedtime and sleep hard all night. 67% reduction in high glucose events. Remember the glucose monitor? That's how she knows. Released 9.6 pounds. Inflammation is way down. Wrinkles are fading despite losing weight. I'm 45, but now I feel like 30-year-old me. Mood is great. Improved mental clarity. No way to measure, but it feels like my hormones are more balanced. Maybe a blood draw would measure that, but this is pretty amazing. And here is her at 90 days. And you can just see the transformation that her body has taken too. And even her hair, even her hair has improved. So this is really, if you're looking for something to support you in your health and wellness goals, MetaPWR metabolic system is a really great addition to whatever it is that you're doing or not doing. Because most of the stories that I'm coming across, most of the testimonies are people not really making these big changes in the way that they're eating or the way that they're moving. But with MetaPWR, they seem to have the energy to move more. So after using it, they're incorporating these things now. They have more motivation. They're able to do it without pain. So these are just some amazing stories. But also keep in mind that this is just one part of a picture, of a bigger picture. Metabolic health, yes, is incredibly important, but you've got to look into your lifestyle choices as well. You've got to look at what you're putting in your body, in your home, on your body. You got to look at how much you're moving. Look at your sleep levels, your stress levels. All of these things play a key role, right? So healthy lifestyle choices and this superior supplement system can really help you overcome those health obstacles. Oops, sorry. So it's a 3-step system. The first one is the MetaPWR metabolic blend. You can add the oil to water. You can take a soft gel. The beadlets, you can pop a beadlet or chew a gum whenever you're having those sugar cravings. You can, the second step is to take MetaPWR Assist. Pardon me, this is the one that's really going to help with that blood glucose spike. You're going to take this 15 to 30 minutes before your largest meal, whatever that may be for you. For me, that would be my breakfast. Whenever I break my fast, that is my absolute largest, biggest meal. And if you've ever had lunch with me, you will know this because I order big. But I may have something smaller later if I'm hungry. Most of the time I'm not, but that would be the time for me to take it. So you got to find your schedule, what works for you. And then step 3, once a day, you're going to add one of these these MetaPWR Advantage packets to cold or room temperature water. This is not designed, MetaPWR Advantage is not designed to be used in hot liquids because it starts to break down the composition of this beautiful supplement. Here's the sample schedule, just so that you can get an idea of what this is like. Of course, lifelong vitality is key as well. MetaPWR is going to help with your metabolic health. Lifelong vitality helps with your overall cellular health. Just to get an idea of what it's like, again, you're going to have to figure out what works for you. And that's why I'm here to help you to come up with a routine and a schedule so that you can get the most benefit from this system. How to get started. If you were not a doTERRA member already, you can enroll with this kit. You can start a wholesale account with this kit. You're going to get a free enrollment, so your $35 membership fee is waived. You're also going to get free shipping. This qualifies for free shipping. And then with our promotion this month, you also qualify to receive 100 doTERRA points that you can redeem for whatever, right? Whatever doTERRA has to offer. So if you are a member already, you can save even more. You can use, you can choose some Advantage products to add on to your lifelong vitality. So for example, for us, definitely the vegan lifelong vitality pack, I could get that, and I can choose the beadlets and the Advantage. The beauty of this is that that essential oil is going to last you a while. Think about how much oil you put into your water, 1 or 2 drops, right? That bottle has at least 285 drops in there. So it's going to last you a while. But you could also just buy the Advantage, the MetaPWR Advantage, and get some beadlets. So there's different ways that you can work this. I'm happy to help you. Order on LRP so that you can get these 3, so that you can choose 3 at a reduced cost. And then it will also qualify you, if your order is 100 PV, it'll also qualify you for free shipping. And you missed the window for your free white grapefruit. But if you really need something free, reach out to me. I'm happy to help you if you're on my team. Some resources for you. We do have a couple of videos that you can watch, and we do have some printed resources that you can learn more about it. I invite you to join our community, which unfortunately was not the right thing. You'll have the right link here in just a little bit. But there's a lot of great information there, and it really breaks it down. There's a lot of science behind this that I kind of glossed over, but I'm happy to share with you the scientific papers and more testimonials, more videos with you if you're interested. So our upcoming Wellness Wednesday Essential Sessions. Next week, we're going to do a little bit deeper dive into smart supplementation, just to cover some things that can really provide support in those pillars, at least for those pillars of good metabolic health, starting with our lifelong vitality. That is key. In February 8th, we'll talk about some healthy eating, and we'll move into daily movement and stress management. February 1st is not part of this metabolic health series. That will be saved for, the promotions of the month. It's February 1st after all. And we do have a couple of workshops that we will schedule in person. We do these online so that you can access them at any time. Definitely, if you're in our group, you can catch it live. You can catch us on Zoom too if you want to join the conversation. And I really encourage you to take a deep look at, what are your health goals for this year? And I'm pretty sure MetaPWR can be a great tool for you to reach those goals. And again, so here's how you can connect with us. If you're on Facebook, you are invited to join our Facebook page. This is where it's streaming live right now. We do have a YouTube channel that you can catch after for those of you that are not on Facebook. And if you're watching on YouTube later, give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it. I do have a newsletter that goes out every week, just kind of capturing some of the highlights, gives you some information of what's new, sharing some recipes, and just all the good oily stuff that you need. And then we also have a website where we store all of this information. So there is a way to reach out and stop share. Thank you. And just to kind of wrap it up, I will be doing a MetaPWR boot camp February 1st. I didn't put the information together yet because I'm not quite sure how I'm not quite sure who I want to open it up to. I'm really feeling that it's going to be Casa Walters members. So the way that you'll get information is through our newsletter and through our Facebook group. So if that's something that you're interested in, if I have piqued your interest with the boot camp, this is just going to be a way to get you started with MetaPWR, or at least to see if it's something that you want to incorporate into your lifestyle. I'm really excited to try. We're starting February 1st, my husband and I, and we'll be sharing our MetaPWR journey with you. I'm still debating about the advantage. That's a big decision for me. You know, I've been vegetarian since I was 16, but how can I dismiss all of those benefits, right? Let's just see how my body responds to it. Anyway, thank you, Alex, for joining live. And if you guys have any questions, you can post them below this video. You can text me, reach out to me, send me an email, whatever. I'm happy to serve you in whatever way that you need. And yeah, keep your eye out for that boot camp, members. So make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, and if you're on Facebook, make sure that you join our group so that you can know about it, because it'll just be for our members right now. All right, thanks. Have a great rest of the evening. I know that this was long, but this is a really big topic. There's a lot going on here, and yeah, I'm excited to share this. I'm excited to try it. This should be very good. All right, have a good night. Peace.